Why, hello. I just hit start. I didn't schedule anything. So if I end up just talking to the wind, so be it. I know. Whoops, what's going on? Why you doing all that? There we go. What is that? Oh, there we go. Okay. So I got my center. I did it on camera. I got the center 9 pieces done. Now I'm working on the next section. So I've got 3 by 3. So I'm going to do 3 down this side. I'm going to do 3 down this side because I got to start somewhere. And I might go 4, then 4, then 5, or I might go 3, then 3, then 5, then 5. I haven't decided yet because I don't have to decide just yet. So get... Hey, Ram. I am doing fine. I am doing good. I just turned my camera on early. I didn't schedule anything today. I don't know if we're going to I don't know if people are going to wander in or not, but that's okay. I'm getting my next 3 patches ready. And I just have to top stitch them first. I don't know what to do about my gloves. They're still in great shape, but man, they're getting stained. Mind you, every time you handle fabric, a tiny bit of color comes off. It's not the end of your world, but after several hours, oh, that's what I forgot to do. Okay. Actually, I don't have to do anything awesome here. I'm going to start with that onion first. I just have to make I'm not going crazy on the quilting. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do 1 line through the middle. Then I'm going to do 1 line at approximately halfway and another line at approximately halfway. Do you use a more heavy duty needle for your quilting? No, actually, I find that the Schmetz, which ones am I using right now? I've got heavy duty needles if I have them, but I tend to use, the Schmetz. These tend to be my favorites. Because I know it seems weird, but they're a little okay. It's a business. I don't know what the future holds now that I'm not doing the shop anymore. But this was all a business expense for me, and the Schmetz are a really good embroidery needle. So that I'm too lazy to change my needles as often as I should. So I seem to miss out. I seem to do better with an embroidery needle, which is designed for a lot of stitches before I have to do anything. I'm just eyeballing everything. Actually, I am just eyeballing everything. I need that. Where's my pencil? Do I put it away? I had it. There it is. I just got a little chalk pencil. So I am just going to put a mark. I'm just eyeballing it. If it meanders a bit, I don't care. The particular style that I do for Quilt As You Go isn't all that, is very forgiving. I like to embrace the boho / rustic look. I'm gonna start it in the middle, eyeball it, and then see what things end up. But I'm gonna have 1, 2, 3, and then when I get my end here done, that's gonna be 4 and 5. So I think every 4 inches is decent enough. Yeah, I prefer the Schmetz is more expensive. I'm not okay. I've also got like organ needles, which I find I like them. I like them too, but like I said, I get really lazy about changing my needles. So I get really lazy about changing my needles. So I have just found that I like them more. I was embroidering. A few years ago, I had one of those little embroidery / sewing machine combo units. Where's my pins? They're over there somewhere. I had one of those little embroidery things, and once I started using the Schmetz needles, I just found that I really like them. I'm not going crazy here. So yeah, I'm gonna do these 3. I'm gonna do these 3 the exact same. I've just got a 20-inch piece on my backing, and Once I get these 3 done, I'll chain them together, and then I'll add it onto one side or the other of my other piece, and then we'll go from there. I'm not worried about. We embrace the rustic, so I don't care if things shift a little bit, because at the end of the day, when you do a quilt, this is going to be a king size quilt. Nobody's going to notice if some of your lines waver a bit. Anyway, how you doing? How are you doing today? I like to hang out. I like to chat. I'm also really lazy about pinning. I'm really lazy about pinning. This is moving around. You know, I've got this, the batting pushed itself forward. That's moving around because I've only got like 5 pins in the whole thing. So if you're ever going, hey, this is a good idea. I like it. I think I'm gonna try it. Just remember to do as I say and not as I do. If you don't want this to move around, you do want to pin the crap out of it. Ew, that kind of sucks. I went in yesterday for blood work, and I did not know it, but my doctor had me down for an ECG, where they put the things on you. It's like the one she had me marked down for was the quick one. It took longer to set up, and they only have to record for like they hit a thing and record your heart rate for like 10 seconds. But I'm like, you never told me this. It's like it's the joy. It's like, oh, you're over 60. Yeah, let's find a reason to give you more pills. Yeah, I just had my regular blood work done so I can get my refills. Annoying as fuck, to be honest. But that's how they keep you from dying, I guess. I don't think I'm gonna be having. I don't think they're gonna need to do any changes. I should. Well, I guess it doesn't matter which side I do first. Anyway. Yeah, I'm hoping to get these done really quickly. Yeah, actually I got lucky though. Usually I've got a big nasty bruise when they're done. I get my blood work done. Now I have this big ugly bruise. I got one on the back of my hand instead though. I was sitting there. Yeah, being alive is fun. It's like, okay. Well, and then you get to get away with shit. My mother used to say, oh, my blood pressure's acting up. It's like, no, it's not. You're just sitting there. Anyway. I don't know. My numbers look pretty good. I've got high blood pressure and type 2 diabetes, but the medication keeps me with I'm on the right medication that keeps everything nice and you know, my blood work is good. It's when you're on all these pills and you go in and go, hey, your blood work sucks this month, and you're like, what? I don't want that. I'm gonna leave these on for now. I'm gonna leave those safety pins on. I'm gonna take the center one out, but do the next one. Hopefully this is gonna be quick. Hopefully I can get these done quick because I just want one. I'm just putting my 10-inch right there. And then I'm going to go that one. And I'm just going to slide it out a bit so I can make the 5-inch. Like I said, I don't care if these are perfect or not. I might as well have a good starting point. And then the 5. These are nice because these are actually just a chalk. They come right up. Well, they're going to be on the inside anyway, but they're just a chalk. God, my house is a mess. It's like, oh, you should take a day off and clean your house. Now, I will just sew. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of interesting how normal it gets. Like the first couple of years after I had to go on medication, it was like, oh, this sucks. I hate this. Now it's like been over 10 years. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I think as long as I don't have stomach issues, or I don't have side effects or stomach issues from the meds I'm on. So I guess as long as that holds, mind you, every now and again I go through an acidity phase, but then I just like eat yogurt like it's my job to eat it, and then take probiotics, and then a few weeks of that and everything's back to normal. I don't know if that's a reflection of my shitty diet where I drink so much crap, or if it's got anything to do with the meds, or it's a combination. I don't know, but as long as I can flip a switch and make it all go away, I'm fine. Anyway, this is super simple today. I don't really need a back stitch, but it'll help hold everything in place. I'll do the inside. Now I'm going to do the outside one today. Do that first. I did it first last time. I should keep doing it first. If you're the kind, if you want this to be perfect, then start your stitch in. Like I start right at the very edge, right? But if you ever decide to do this and you want it to be perfect, give yourself at least an inch, because then you can come by when you're done, fold everything under and square it all up again. Yeah, same. I drink way too much pop. Blah blah blah. I'm pretty sure that most. I also had H. pylori twice back in the day, which is kind of. I guess it causes ulcers. So I probably either had a mild ulcer or whatever. So it's not a surprise. It's kind of one of those things. It's like, you know, when I was back in my 30s, I was like, oh my God, this sucks, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to talk about it. Leave me alone, yada, yada, yada. Now that I'm like 60, I'm like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, I had this happen back in the day, and it's whatever. So yeah, I just don't care anymore. I don't. You can't afford to give a shit. It's like, no. Yeah, so when you're back here, if you think you got a bunch of shit you need to clean off, then then start your stitching in at least an inch, and then you can just go boop, fold that under, get it away from your seam, and do any trimming you need to do. And you can do it on all four sides. Oh, Jenny's here. Hi, Jenny. We're not giving a shit about anything. We're commiserating because I keep going. Enneagram just got blood work done. Has to get their blood pressure meds adjusted. I just got blood work done yesterday, and my doctor, for some reason, marked me down for an ECG. So I had my very first ECG yesterday. I don't think there's any reason for it. I think she's just testing because I'm, you know, oh, you've been on, you've done the, you've been on, I don't know. I don't remember her mentioning it. I do not remember her mentioning that she was marking me down for, I think I would remember an ECG. It's like, oh, we're going to test your heart. So yeah, we were just like saying like, no side effects from the meds. So as long as that remains true, it's like, whatever. Anyway, these are the side pieces. I got the center 9 done. I think you were still there for that when I got the center area done. This is the first section that's going. Basically, I'm doing this. I had my pencil. I put my pencil down. I can't find my pencil. Right here. It was. Did I just toss it on the table and not give it a lot of thought? I've got more pencils. I'm just lazy and don't want to get up. There it is. So I'm just doing a quick mark. I'm doing a quick mark here, but what I have to do, what I'm doing is, okay, I've got my center 9, right? So the pieces that go down the side, I'm going to sew this way. Because don't forget, everything's directional, right? So I'm going to go sew directionally. The stuff that's going on the top and bottom is going to go, I'm going to sew that up and down. And then the stuff that's going into the corners, I'm going to go angle. And I've got to track it. I've got to pay attention as I go because I have to make sure everything's in the correct direction. Like when I do the two corners, I have to do this one from left to right, this one from left to right to have it go that way. This one from right to left, this one from left to right, and I have to carry that through. So I have to pay attention to how I'm putting them together. So I'm actually making an effort. I actually have to make a bit of an effort right now. But anyway, how you doing, Jenny? Distract us from our woes. It's kind of weird. I swore I'm never gonna take all those medications. Yada yada yada. And like, here I am. That's what happens. The minute you say you're not doing it, you can guarantee that that's one of the next things you'll be doing in life. But that's okay. So yeah, so this one's I'm almost ready to put this one on. I'm keeping this. I'm not marking. I'm just eyeballing it. Embrace the rustico. Embrace rustico and not worry about it. Lisa, I think. Ooh, nice. You got taking a vacation? Vacation or staycation? Why do I feel like that's too thick? No, it's normal. Ooh, redecorating. That's always. Lisa and I were just talking about that. We can't really justify it right now because Bruno is definitely blind in one eye. Like we've checked. He's blind in one eye and we're not 100% sure where his vision's at in the other eye. So it's like if we redecorate, blind dogs do a very good job of adjusting and getting used to where things are and stuff like that. But he's a 13-year-old dog, and he may be showing some early signs of doggy dementia. Nothing that's concerning. That was one of the reasons why we decided to that's one of the reasons why we decided to move my mattress down to the floor so he can get to me, because he would come in at night, scratch the bed, wake up, get me, and then get a little anxious if I didn't wake up and get him. Wow, yeah. Well, we finally took the bed frame downstairs to the basement. We did clean up a bunch of other things. For us, it's mostly tidying. With my sewing area being so big and so much in the way. But yeah, we're not going to be doing much of that, I don't think. Not while we still have him. Blind dogs do adjust well, but blind dogs that are dealing with memory issues don't. So there's no reason. And we don't give a shit. So I did have to move my footstool because my leg. Okay, what's going on here? I did have to move my footstool because I was starting to get some. I needed it where I could get to it because my leg was starting to get sore. I am not sure what the hell's going on here. Did it? It's sewed down. There we go. Black on black on black. Yeah, moving stuff around would, like I said, we know for a fact that he's completely blind in the one eye. We know he's got a certain degree of vision loss in the other eye. We're just not sure where it's at yet. But he will be walking across the room and just kind of stop as if he forgot where he was going. I don't know how to describe this. Okay, he's not like full-blown dementia or anything like that. Whatever he's got going on is mild, but there is some cognitive decline. So we don't know what else to call it. So that's why we call it, doggy dementia. Anyway, moving up, the kind of rearrange that we probably want. I think it would be we were chatting last night. Oh, what about this? What about that? What about this? What about that? And I'm just kind of like, I'm the one who said, once we realized he was blind in one eye, I'm the one who stood up and said, we probably can't move a lot of stuff around. And now, like I said, we're not sure where his vision's at in the other eye. It's not, at the very least, he's light sensitive. So, but yeah. But like here, it's kind of funny because that's like age-related cognitive decline isn't like Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's it can happen with age, but it's not the same thing. And I forget what it was that he did the other day, and it's like, that's what it looks like. Shit. Okay. So now I have to make sure that everything stays in the same direction, which is fine. So I gotta make sure I'm lining up top to bottom. Yeah, I can do it that way. What am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. But no, so we're probably just moving the footstool. I don't know if it's my imagination or not. I moved the footstool over a few days ago because my leg was bugging me. And I was like, let's try sitting with my leg up and see what happens, right? And I don't know if it's my imagination or not. Once I go pick him up and put him on the couch with me, he's like, oh, this is nice. But I don't know if he's been avoiding the living room or not. He seems to be spending less time in the living room all of a sudden. So I might not even get to leave that there. Which will be fine. I'll figure something out. I always do. But yeah. I want to redecorate. So what kind of exciting stuff are you guys doing? Small things or a big thing? This is your chance to make me jealous about. This is you guys' chance to make me jealous about the things that you're doing that I can't do. There you go. Get over there. Yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna leave that pin down. I'm gonna leave that pin down because I've got nothing here. I might even put an extra one in. I think I should. Put an extra one in here just to keep it from shifting around too much while I'm putting the two together. Oh, you got to decorate your office like that. That's kind of cool. And they're okay with that. I thought I was being a rebel when I brought in a little beta into the one office that I worked at. Come on. There we go. And I don't care about this because I can always roll it forward or do whatever I'm gonna do with it. I don't have to agonize. Embrace the rustico. I swear to God, if you're not trying to win a contest, okay. If you're trying to win a contest, do not embrace the rustico. Make sure your measurements are proper. But if you're not trying to win a contest and you're just trying to have some fun, I'm just gonna set that over there for a minute because I gotta pull this one out and trim the edges. And the last thing I want to do is have something end up underneath. Nice. I love it so much. I wanted to decorate part of my apartment that way. Nice. I just moved out of a 2-story house into a 1 level, so I was able to decorate as I moved in. Pretty much have it. I like it more comfy and rustic. Nice. I like comfy and rustic. I really do. I love comfy and rustic. That's kind of what we got going on here. What we got going on here, though, like we were just talking about this last night. Like, I mean, we have a section in the kitchen that belongs to Bruno. We have all Bruno's bedding stuff here, and then another spot over there for him to sleep down. Another spot in the bedroom. So we've got that going on. So we've got this comfortably frumpy thing happening. Now Lisa associates frumpy with dirty, but I think I associate frumpy with rustic. So. Or that type of thinking. So I don't know, but yeah, we've got that going on. We got a lot of clutter. We've got a lot of clutter. Like this certainly doesn't help. So we've got a lot of clutter all the time, but it's clean clutter, I guess. Sometimes we can be well, we're both pretty lazy about dusting. So, but a lot of clutter, maybe more dusty, probably, no, definitely more dusty than it needs to be, but it's clean, so we're good. We're fine. Okay. I will say the one mistake that I did, it's not a mistake. When I did the 9-piece there, if I'd have cut my squares properly, I could have left the outside longer so that I didn't have to worry about fraying before I was ready to start piecing it all together. But it is 100% not the end of the world, so it's fine. I am hoping. I turned the camera on. Lisa, as far as I know, Lisa's got her game tonight. So Lisa's got her game tonight, and so we are not doing a lot. These two are identical. Yeah, my two Scottios own the floor space, so there are toys everywhere, always. Hey, Sunny D, how you doing? Okay, so these are the same. There's no difference here. I just couldn't warrant doing a big long 60-inch piece, because then it can get if you try and this is already pretty big. If you try and get too big, then things do move around a lot in ways that you're not going to like. So this way, well, you'll see in a minute, but this way everything's the same, but there's going to be like a 1.5-inch frame around everything, so it'll look more intentional. I'm always really careful with the one-directional fabrics, though, because you just got to make sure that they're not going to shift around in the ways that you do not want them shifting. Yeah, I don't want to get distracted and have one go on sideways and one go on up and down ways. Of course, I say that just as something caught. I'm not sure what it was. Okay, let's see if I can do this without stretching the batting out of place. That is the one thing I don't like about this particular batting. Other battings don't move around. This particular batting moves around a lot. I like it, though. There we go. I think flannelette is my favorite as a batting, because it doesn't get caught on anything. It doesn't move around. It's just it sews like it's just another layer of fabric. And the good news is that this stuff, just snag it and pull it and it gets back where you want it to be. Regular batting, that throws a ton of dust under your machine, so there's that. Okay. If I am lucky, I can maybe have this completely done. You know what? I say this. I say, oh, if I'm lucky, I can have this done in a couple of days. And the minute I say that, something comes up and I end up not having a chance to get back to it. So I'm going to keep my mouth shut. But I'm hoping to get this side and the other side on today, which isn't that big of a deal. I've been doing this every time. This one actually hasn't been that bad. Because I'm working with such big pieces. It's just a matter of finding the time to actually do the work. So there's that. So these are identical. These are the same fabric, right? And now I'm going to go and fold that out. And again, if you want it to be, if you're measuring and remeasuring and doing all the things, then just don't forget to iron this open to make sure that you had it really solidly where you want it. Oh, I didn't put another pin in that side, and I probably should make sure. The less it moves, the easier it is to work with, especially while it's actively on the machine. So I'm going to put a pin in there. I'm thinking. I think I've done most of this project on camera. So I'm on for what, about 2 hours at a time. So I think I've got less. I think I've maybe got 10 hours into this so far. It's actually not bad. Okay. It is annoying me. I'm super lazy and I always want to avoid using the pins. I always want to avoid having to pin it, but for some reason, the big piece doesn't seem to bother me for pinning the same way the little piece does. I mean, it's probably a good idea. It's probably a really good idea for me to pin this because all of this is open. Anyway, so what's new and exciting in your world, Sunny? Because these guys, and I don't know why I have to look every time. Angle Ram and Jenny are both doing various flavors of redecorating this week. Lisa and I were literally talking about it last night, but we really can't because of Bruno. It wouldn't be good for him. He's got vision problems and memory problems. So why do that to, there's no point in doing that to the little guy. So we can move little things once in a while. Okay. I'm making it sound way worse than what it is, but there's no point in creating a problem when we already know that he's got some limitations nowadays. Really? Oh my God. I don't know if I would call it decorating because I'm not necessarily about the decorating part of things, but rearranging things, I do it way too often. I've rearranged this. I'll rearrange something like this that doesn't, no matter what I do, it's still going to look like a cluttered mess. I just a little bit less cluttered, a little bit less messy. So there's that. Anyway, bring you guys back over here. I kind of like this. Every now and again, if I'm a little rough, it'll get the stand shaking a little bit. But I think I'm liking that. Glove on, glove off, glove on, glove off. There we go. Yeah, I've only been on for like 30 minutes and I'm already I've got one more of these to put on. I've got 3 of these. Once they're done, I can add them to the big piece. Build that out, and if I do the other side as a separate piece, so I've only got 2 rows of 5 left to do. I just have to make sure I'm top stitching everything in the correct direction. This is going on the side. That's why these go sideways. The next bunch is going to go top to bottom with angle pieces. I think I might do my angle pieces next because I have to do 2 in each direction. Don't like decorating, eh? Yeah, I would stay out of I stay out of way. I like to stay out of Lisa's way when it comes to decorating, but rearranging the furniture and stuff to improve comfort, or just to be different, just to enjoy something a little different for a change, is something I'm all about. But Bruno gets forgetful, and we don't want him getting anxious on top of the vision problems that he's got. So it's like, we're just gonna wait. We'll figure it out. You don't actually have to backstitch here, but if anything does start to unravel, because you got to come back and fold that through later. And if anything especially the center section, if anything unravels, it's it feels like a problem. Is this, well, okay, it's really annoying and fiddly. It makes that section really super fiddly. Even just one stitch, that's all you need. But Jenny loves decorating. Well, next time it's time to decorate, we will, next time it's time to decorate, where is it? I'll just use my pencil. This piece of fabric kind of pushed forward like a pleat, and I know that it doesn't need to be one, so I'll just tuck it back in there before the sewing gets there. Next time it's time to decorate, I'll fly you up and get the fuck out of the way and I'll tell you where I want the furniture to be, and then you and Lisa can decorate. I'm always totally okay to be left in that part. That's one of the areas in life where I'm too much like a guy. I am way too much. I'm going to stick in the corner. It'll be fine. That's me. As long as I'm comfortable, as long as I can sit down and this is really comfortable. The rest of it is just, yeah. Every now and again, the clutter. Every now and again, I'm like, oh, we're too cluttered. We got to deal with that. But other than that, it's like, nope. How do we make it pretty? Oh, I'm going to stick in a corner. It'll be fine. I've ended up accidentally with some halfway decent looks, but not on purpose. Where is my, there they are. I literally just have my tweezers in my hand. There's a thread sticking out. I'm not going to agonize over it. I'm just going to tuck it in. There's always going to be little sticky outy pieces sewn into these seams, so unless it's like a really nasty clot of fabric, there's absolutely no point in freaking out about it. And just stick it back in that corner. Stick it underneath. If it's a big enough clump that it's gonna, if it's a big enough clump of whatever, then it's gonna be, that you're gonna be able to feel it. I won't do it, but one or two threads, nobody will ever know it's there. We moved from a much smaller house, and it was definitely overwhelmed getting all of the rooms set up. And we just had all the stuff the years from living so small. Yeah, we've got a lot of stuff. I've got all my sewing stuff. Like my sewing stuff takes up this whole section behind me. That closet is full of thread, and then I have a bunch of other stuff. At least half, again, what's in that closet is sitting on the top shelf in my dresser. But then again, I'm also living like a teenage boy with a mattress on the floor now, so I don't really care. I just don't. I don't have it in me. Okay, so what we've got here, let's go over there. So what we end up with here now is we've got, so even though these pieces are the same, they've now got a bit of framing with the black, which might be a nice little, it's about 1.5 inches. It's it's an inch and a half, because I leave the 1.5 inches here, you fold it in half, right? And then you fold it in half again. There's one side, but then the other side, so that's like 3/4 of an inch when you folded it twice, but then you're going to connect it to another piece that's folded the same way. So anyway, you go over there for a minute, you go up there for a minute. Okay, this is going faster than I thought it would. Faster. Now we have Lisa and I both have this magical ability to build up clutter. So where'd Bruno go? Oh, he isn't here. Okay. So now, see, I worried for nothing. Oh, I can't get the camera all the way around. He is just on the other side of the tail. Yeah, there's his little tail floating in the wind over there. He is. I was concerned because I moved the footstool recently, and I've been a little concerned the last few days that he's just kind of, that he's thinking it might be an obstacle. You're a jerk, man. I know, you're a dick. What are you doing? My dog. My little pupperoonie, and he's already been OUT. He just hears. Now, isn't that a coincidence that it's almost exactly 3 o'clock? So guess what I do? Just guess what I've been doing just before turning the camera on these days. Just before turning the camera, because usually I come on at 3, right? It's like, well, it's 3 o'clock. You screwed up. It's like, dude, I took you out at 2. Yeah. You want to go outside? Look at him. He's like, yes, stupid. Yep. See? Did you startle yourself? Are you coughing? What do you need? Look at him looking at me. He's like, you know what I need. Yeah. If I had an unlimited budget, yeah. Anyway, talk amongst yourselves. I will be right back. Probably what? I average about 5 minutes now. So this is your 5-minute intermission. Come on, monster. Let's go outside. Come on. Let's go outside. I got a different distraction treat for you today. Come on. Oh, no. You're going outside because you're going to wait for 20 minutes and demand to do it again. Come on. Let's go. Are you coming? Yeah, I know you don't want to. You think you're running me, huh? If I do a treat first, then he'll just want to go potty anyway. This way I can ignore him after. Come on, let's go back. What's going on? Why are you coughing? You're still coughing. in. Okay. Now, gotta get you something. What do you want for a treat? Come here. Oh, Daddy, watch your step. Watch your step. There you go. Just a minute. I want you to have a drink. There you go. What's that? There you go. There you go. Come on, right there. It's right there. There you go. La la la. La la la. He was still coughing when we got in the hallway. Coughed, distracted himself, lost track of where he was in some weird way, took an absolute left-hand turn and went thunk right into the wall. Little bugger. Oh, I'm also my employer has done away with assigned offices and cubicles. Only executives get their own space. They try to make it sound appealing by calling it a hotel experience. Yeah, well, unless they're giving you free drinks and no, that's not a hotel experience. That is the boss is cheap and trying to make you feel like you're getting nope. Mm-mm-mm. When you get to work, you just sit down at any old space. Ooh, she sent me pics. Let's see. Hi, monkey. What you doing? Are you coming this way? He's standing in the kitchen, which means he's not done being catered to yet. But I got a you-know-what sitting over here. You sent it to me on Messenger or just I'll find out. Oh, there we go. Apparently, you're problematic. Except, oh, pretty. This is your office? Wait. Oh, office and living room. I think I may have I don't know what I did. Oh, it's not going to go bigger. Is it going to go bigger? Look at that. Lisa must never know of this. Lisa must never be made aware that this exists in the world. Is that your office? Oh, no. Yeah, there's a microwave in the corner. Nice. Here we go. Look, Mr. Bark Monster. Oh, I went the other way. Oh, okay. It said there was 7. I don't know why it said that. I hate my phone sometimes. Why is it making me log in again? Apparently, I've used up my 2 minutes. There we go. Excuse the mess, she says. Excuse the mess, but hopefully you get the idea. I love my rainbow living room. Just want to change. Oh, that's why, because there's comments as well. That looks really cute. I mean, I'm allergic to all that pink and stuff, but I like the office. I am ignoring this little jerk, man. All right. Bruno. There we go. Now I did it right. I can see why you're in love with your office. And this is your office? Is that your office? That looks cute. I like that. Bruno, I've got something that I hope will make you. Come here. What's that? I need to figure out a way to get the camera over here on him. I just held it out and he's like, I'm holding it, and he says, okay, and he just grabs it, pulls it straight forward to get it out of my hand, and then goes and sits over there with it. There he goes. I have a feeling that this is going to be our new sewing situation for all of us. There, it's good. You just can't get through it quickly. There you go. The trick is when you have a toothless dog, Forest Spaces the office. The trick is when you have a toothless dog to get him something that he can chew on that's not going to, it can actually be surprisingly hard. You just got to make sure that there's no sharp edges and stuff because obviously he can't bite through it, but that's trachea. So he can, and it's actually, believe it or not, it's amazingly good exercise for a toothless dog to get them things that they can chew. Because being toothless means that they don't get a lot of opportunities to exercise their jaw. They don't get a lot of realistic opportunities to exercise their jaws. Our issue with him is that if we give him something that's more his size, he's always been a scarfer, which means that he'll like, and then as soon as he feels like it's lined up enough to swallow, he'll try to swallow it. Because as long as it fits down his throat, he thinks it'll fit in his stomach. That's a really nice. Oh, goodbye, goodbye, E. Oh, puppies and family. Yes, must feed puppies, must feed family. Well, I think I'm around. I'm gonna be around until Lisa gets back. But then again, that's not really all that long because she has her game today. So, thread. A little bit of thread that got over there. I'm like, what is that purple thing? Which one's it from? It's not that one. Oh, it's that one. I like these to hold. I like this. This is just, there's your spool, right? And this looks weird, but you just go like that and put it right through and it holds your spool. But it does nothing to stop the thread from unwinding. So every now and then, because I've got my stuff all over there. So every now and again, I'll bump and something will unwind a little bit. Something will unwind a little bit. So I either have to cut it off or put it back. These have a little catcher. These have a catcher on it. I wish those did. Because you could just put your spool on, then put it on a catcher and keep it. But yeah, no, I don't see why that's not more of a thing because I mean, if you're gonna spend a third of your life sitting in an office, you should be able to, there should be things about it that you can enjoy. But I will say, like, I've mostly worked in environments where you don't get that luxury. So then again, like if you're sitting in a call center and the phone's always ringing and you don't have time to do anything, then that's a little bit different than a situation where you're, but yeah, when you are working in an office environment, you should have some, it should be an automatic thing. It should be an automatic thing that if you're working in an office, you should have some opportunity, some way, somehow to personalize your space, even if you're in a cubicle farm, right? Assigned seating. So yeah, everybody gets assigned seating so that everybody can and then they wonder why everybody hates their fucking jobs. It's like I can't think of anybody that would work just for shits. Well, that's what I'm doing today, but I can't think of anybody who would work I can't think of anybody who would work for free or for their own amusement or whatever. So and most companies can't afford to pay you $100 a fucking hour. So find other ways to make your employees happy. Oh, he's having a good time. There he is. There he is. He's got it rammed up against a table leg. He's going to have to chew on that for hours just to be able to start getting pieces off. And the idea is, if we get, okay, once something gets stale, yeah, a comfort theme. Yeah, he's a Bruno hug. Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, these are identical. So these are identical, and they're all done this way. It doesn't matter which side I put them on. So I'm going to make sure they're all facing the same direction. And I want the smaller one on top. Some people like the smaller one on the bottom. It doesn't matter. Whatever works for you. Anyway. Shoot. I did not get this one. I did not trim this one. This piece didn't get trimmed. I didn't need it. Everything else is trimmed. I obviously missed that one and didn't, I noticed it immediately. So there's no chance that I've done it on the other ones. I don't think. Let me just check the top now. Make sure I got that one. Yeah, that one's done. Everything else has been done. That's not pinned. Oh, Bruno rug. Yeah. I thought you said hug. And I'm like, because that makes sense too. Makes you, every time I see him being all cute like this, I just want to run over and give him a hug and come here, my puppy. But it's kind of a challenge. You got a toothless dog that's also a diabetic. So another treat that would be good for a toothless dog. But you got to watch. Okay, another treat that would be good for a toothless dog, but you would have to really supervise them, is those dental treats. But dogs by nature are able to just take a chunk and swallow it. So you got to make, if you're giving your toothless dog a dental treat, you have to make sure that the dog's not going to give into the urge to just swallow it. Which we already know that's an issue with him. We already know. He's our special little boy. Okay. They're all going the same way. You know, I've never had this as a problem before where I put something on upside down. You guys have never seen that. Spend enough time hanging out with me and you're going to see me do it again too. But you know, I'm in denial, so it's fine. Pull it up. Ah, you're twisted. There we go. And you're off center. There we go. Ew, everyone's so loud when I need to concentrate on complex, nearly impossible. That sucks. That sucks. Yeah, I never liked work environments that were like that. Never did. It's one thing like, okay, like I've worked in factories where it's really loud and that's what it, but everybody's doing the same thing. Everybody's yelling about the same problem, you know? So when I've never liked, I like a little bit of hubbub in an office environment because I can't stand total silence either. But yeah, sounds like it's a very short-sighted approach from the bosses. That is true. Jenny says, yeah, but I show you guys how to, back to my comment on putting things back in upside down or whatever. I do show you guys how to fix it. So, whoops, something's stuck. Oh, okay, it's gone. Quite often, when you're at this stage, it's usually the safety pins that are getting stuck because I've got 3 on top, but I've also got 3 on the bottom. That goes there. That goes there. Perfect. And I forgot the back stitch. Ew. Yeah. I like to hear myself talk, but that's why I can do this all day. I love to hear myself talk, but you got to know when to shut the fuck up, you know? Oh no, I want that open. I'm doing this. I'm not pinning this one. Fold it in half. I think whenever, I think in that environment, you just got to remind yourself, paycheck's worth it. Paycheck's worth it. I don't know. You got to find ways to. And usually it turns out to be some little bureaucrat on a power trip that makes these kind of changes and just makes everybody miserable. Then everybody quits, and then the little bureaucrat usually moves on. I worked for somebody that was so problematic that I quit after 6 weeks. And it got so bad they wouldn't let her train anybody. It got so bad that basically, it got so bad that pretty much everybody that she ever hired, even when it was transfers from other departments, would quit. And they let this woman run that office for, I think it's either 2 or 3 years before they finally acknowledged that she was a fucking problem. And like, this was St. John fucking ambulance. The all about safety people. Yeah. So fucking toxic. She was nuts. And I don't, well, maybe that's still not a fair word to use, but man, oh man, she was toxic. She would like the one time somebody was coming in to train us because she had only been at the job. She had been hired as a manager about 3 weeks before I got hired, right? So she's only had the jobs for about 3 weeks longer than I have. So they had somebody coming in. They had somebody coming in from another department to train us. The minute that person left, she's like, I don't like the way she trained. You do it this way. She would make us throw away any notes that we made about any notes that we made. And there wasn't even a manual. Put that away and throw away your notes. And she'd stand there and watch. And I'd be like, I needed the job. So it's like, fuck. I need the job. And I don't really want to have to quit a job that I just got. So me and the other guy were doing it. And yeah, she was absolutely just a toxic nightmare. I quit after 6 weeks. And walked. I was only on the job for 6 weeks because she kept threatening to fire me. And turns out she never had the authority to do it. Oh yeah, it was really bad. So after about 6 weeks, I was done. And then when I talked to HR, they gave me 4 weeks of severance. So yeah. Yeah, she was honestly, I mean, it's really easy to say, if I knew then what I know now, I would have sued those assholes, but it was not a super high paying job. So that makes it easier, but it was like, wow, that's nuts. But I've had those kind of bosses, and yeah, it's crazy. But the funny thing is that, why did that pull out? If you're really determined not to waste thread, you can, if it's like this. This is going to be a really big do as I say and not as I do. One of the very first things they will tell you, when you draw your thread back up through the machine backwards like this, you can leave debris behind. It makes your machine dirty. It makes your machine dirtier faster and yada, yada, yada. And it's true. It is absolutely true. You should not be doing what I just did, but I've got 3 machines. So it won't necessarily break your machine, but it can clog it up and make you have to take it in for service more often. And I get no breaks where that's concerned anyway, but just because of I suppose I should start being more careful now that I'm not sewing 8 hours. There were weeks where I was like, I would get up and start sewing once I was up. What I would do is sew for a bit, take a break. So about 50% sewing, 50% break, taking a break where I was sewing like all day until like midnight. Just to get, I want to make sure this gets into the shop, or I've got some custom orders to finish or whatever, right? But don't draw your thread. Do not draw your thread in backwards unless you feel like you have no choice, because it can catch up. It can catch up in some of the gears and gum them up, which I've never had happen. But it does make it so that it does contribute to you having to get your machine cleaned more often. Anyway. Oh yeah. I will tell you right now that this is something that Lisa and I have talked about. It's like, well, now that I'm not doing the shop, maybe I do want to go get a part-time. I've been thinking about it, and I keep saying I'm thinking about it. Maybe I might want to go get a part-time job just to have my own pocket. Everybody likes to have their own money, no matter, like Lisa does a great job. I don't have to work, and she's made that very fucking clear. It's like, nope, you're rocking the disability thing. Everything's fine financially. You don't have to work. I think she would prefer that I don't, to be perfectly honest, but that's either she's blowing smoke up my ass or she really means it, because that's literally what she says. Like, no, I don't want you to work. Okay? She really enjoys knowing that no matter how lazy either of us are about the housework, I'm never going to come to her and go, why wasn't the laundry done? That's my job now, right? She's like, I don't care how often it gets done, but I know you're never going to come to me and ask me why I didn't do it. So for her, that's got a measurable value. Anyway, I'm just babbling in circles because I can. It's my job. Anyway, no, I would have such. I was thinking about some of the jobs that I was thinking about some jobs that I could do. Baby, you're all done. It's fine. And most of them, I would have such zero tolerance. I was a cashier back in the day at a superstore, which I actually liked the job because I'm a people-y kind of a person, right? And I wouldn't last 5 minutes because I see how I'll tell you about I see how people behave, and it's like, I've got no tolerance for that shit anymore. I walked into the lab. What? No, I'm not done. No, it's time for work. I walked into the lab. This is an example. I'm watching these girls going, you guys would fire me if I worked here. Because I walk into the lab to get my blood work done. I had an appointment. So their process is, hi, Bubby. I'm ignoring your shit. No, I'm ignoring you. Okay, I need safety pins on this. I need safety pins on this end because I'm not sewing that one yet. So I'm going to throw one in now. No, we're done. It's all done. I have to work. But, Bubby, what do you need? No, you. Oh, did it get? How did you manage to get it stuck under there? Do you want it back? That's it. Hi. No. Oh, you. Okay. I have to. We're going to be dealing with some barking that we're going to have to try to ignore, kids, because guess who expects to be put on this table the instant he's done his treat? It's like, I'm worried about his memory, and obviously he does something once and he's good to go forever. No, you're fine. We have to go this way. I just touched it with, it's okay. I'm not working anymore, so that's fine. I was regaling Lisa with this, and I can regale you guys now, but it's like, I would be a poor there's a lot of jobs out there that I just wouldn't do anymore because the level of bullshittery that happens has gotten so bad these days. I go in, yeah, I can't do workplace toxicity either. But at the Bruno Furter, yeah, baby, I'm all done. I have to work. So when you go in for blood work, just routine blood testing. When you go in for blood testing, at the process at the clinic near me, I cut all of this stuff here. I've got exactly enough. Exactly. Okay, so this has to go because this is going. It doesn't matter what side it goes on, but this has to go. Oh, it does matter. Well, it doesn't matter which side it goes on because I've got left. I can put it on from the left or the right, but it has to go top to bottom. So I walk in, and okay, so how their process at this clinic goes. If you have an appointment, you just go in and sit down. They'll call you up just before your appointment so you can hand them your paperwork and they can get prepped for you, right? No big deal. If you don't have an appointment, you wait in line. I mean, it's really simple, right? Go wait in line. Go stand in the fucking line. So I'm sitting there. Now I've got an appointment and I'm getting pissed off on behalf of everybody else. Anyway. So I go in. Now the first thing we have what's called a health card up here. it's a little bit different province by province, but everybody, it's not part of your regular ID. Everybody gets, I suppose in the States, a lot of people would have a Medicaid card, but we have what's called MSP. And that is how our medical system, everybody has one, everybody needs one, everybody uses one, no matter where you're getting your private insurance. If you're getting additional private insurance, that's on your own time. But when you're going in through testing, that's done through our national health program. So you have your health card number, you have your health card number and whatever paperwork the doctor has given you, right? So we go in, and the number of no-shows was actually surprising. But anyway, that I could care less about. So we go in, and it's a busy day. It's always crowded. It's when any of these clinics, it's just for blood work. So it's not a clinic. What do they call them? A lab. It's the lab, right? So what are you doing in there? Is that you in there? What? No, he's trying to dig my leg off. Okay, so we go in, we're waiting. One girl has an appointment, which is fine. They're like, hey, come on up and we'll get your paperwork sorted out, right? She goes up, I don't have my card with me. Here's the number, which you're not supposed to do. Now, what they're supposed to do is say, oh, well, we need the actual card, right? It's like going to the DMV and saying, no, I don't have any ID. But here's a photo. Here's something that doesn't matter, that whatever, right? Anyway, so they're wasting. So instead of just telling this girl, sorry, you're going to have to, they don't accept photographs, but they do anyway. If you stand there looking stupid long enough and whine a little bit. So they literally, and like I said, there's a lineup. People have already been in line for 30 to 40 minutes minimum. People have been in line for 30 to 40 minutes. So the first girl is like, oh, I don't have, oh, this is my number. And she's just trying to rattle off a number at them. They're like, we don't have that. When if they put the number in and there's nobody in the system, if they can tell you whether that number exists or not. She goes, this is not a valid number. Oh, well, that's my number. So they're going back and forth. They're playing customer service. The girls were really nice to their detriment because they're playing. Why are you in there? No, you can't go there. He's literally right down here. They're playing customer service superstar with this girl, trying to help her out on a super busy day and they're commenting to each other, oh, blah, blah, blah. Because it was near the end of the day. Oh, blah, blah, blah. We're going to have to take care of blah if we want to get out of here on time. It's and I just realized I don't have enough bobbin left to do this. So I'm going to stop now and get a fresh bobbin on before I really fuck myself up. Bruno, no, we're all done. It's time for work. No, it's time for work. No, I have to work. Anyway, so they're doing this. This girl is up and down, Bubby. So they said, well, go get your card. Oh, I can't get my card. Yada, yada, yada. She can't. And don't forget, they're doing the right thing, but it was the exact wrong thing to actually do. Bruno! Dosh! No, we're all done. It's time for work. You're the reason why I don't have nice things. Well, he's not, but anyway. So they're actually trying really hard to be really nice, right? Except for it. So this is what happens. So first girl's up there, but now that she's been to the front of the line, she goes and sits down and she says, I think I might have it on my phone. So she looks and looks and looks and looks and looks. So she's back up and down 3 more times. Hey, Kenny, don't help him. Well, he is taking it sitting down. He's sitting right back here waiting for me to change my mind. This is his problem. He's literally he knows I'm not going to, for all of my mouthing off, he knows that I'm never going to hit him. So he's literally and it's like, well, I'm not doing anything else today, so I'll just sit down and wait and wear you out. It's like, thanks, buddy. Anyway, so she's up and down. She's up and down, up and down, up and down. Oh, does this work? I think I've got this. And she's up and down, showing them shit on her phone. I think this might be my number. It's like, you don't know what your number is, right? So she's up and down, getting in the way. So they can't take on the next, they can't call the next person to the front. They're dealing with this chick, right? Then Chickie's sitting down between rounds, okay? Next person they call up. Okay, next please. And she comes up and she's like, I don't have my card with me. I think this is my number. The exact same fucking problem all over again. So now we've got two girls tag teaming, keeping these guys busy for over 20 minutes, trying to sort out their health cards. And the health card, like I said, the deal with the health card is that when you go in for health services, you have to show it to them. You're supposed to have the actual card with you. Like what the girls at the clinic should have done, whether you like the sound of it or not, what they should have done is they should have said, I'm sorry, you're going to have to come back when you have your card with you. Instead, they're helping. So then the one girl finally messages somebody at home who finds her card for her and takes a photo of it, and then they accept that, which they shouldn't have done. Don't forget. Okay, no, well, don't forget. BC might be a little bit. Okay, it's like in the States. Every state is a little bit different as to how this shit is handled in the office, right? Here, they swipe the card. They have a card reader. They just swipe it. They don't need all this stuff. Oh yeah, and then the other girl is like, every single thing about the card, phone number, address, it had all changed. It's like, we have a problem. We have a problem in Canada of people coming in and using friends. Oh, you and I look a little bit alike. Let me borrow your card. We have a huge immigrant population here. So we have a huge problem with people who may be just in town visiting relatives or doing whatever, and they will borrow friends and relatives' cards to get whatever services. So which is why you need the actual card. You need the actual card, and if you are you need an actual card, and if you are not a Canadian citizen, you also need a PR card or a student visa or whatever. Anyway, that's a whole separate thing. I don't know how any of that works. So both of these girls, who may or may not be trying to use cards that they actually have a valid right to use. I know it sounds shitty, but they're both Chinese girls, which is where shit like that, it's not a Chinese thing, and it's not only existing in certain communities. This is something that because Canada has very, very good healthcare, right? It's cheap. Healthcare is cheap up here, so we do have this as an ongoing problem. So as much as it's shitty to profile somebody, it's like it's more common than expected in the Asian community, and this is because it's so easy. Like, I used to borrow my cousin's ID because we looked a lot alike, so it's a lot easier to get away with that in a community where everybody's got similar hair color, reasonably similar on the heights, reasonably similar on the skin tones, blah 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 blah. Which is why it's become a problem. I've worked with girls who bragged about this, so. I worked with girls who bragged about having cousins that would, oh yeah, my one cousin, whenever she's in town to visit the relatives, she'll take care of medical stuff while she's in town and just borrow my ID. It's like, so yeah, I know it's a thing. Anyway, babbledy. So I'm like, I'm really not thinking like that, but I'm like, this is why they don't allow it. Oh, fuck yeah. My cousin was like 4 years older than me. I could go to any bar, anywhere. I only did it a couple times, to be honest. It just wasn't worth the hassle. It was way too easy to say, oh, I'm over 19. Because, well, when I was a teenager, it was 18. It's like, no, I'm over 18. Oh, where's your ID? I left it at home. I didn't think I needed it today. Okay, well, that's done. Yeah, okay, buddy. I only ever went in underage a couple of times because I didn't like paying bar prices anyway. Anyway, babbledy. So we've got a lot of reasons why this is a thing to begin with, and it's not helping my story. I'm just saying that it's a thing. It's a thing, and in some, I'm not sure how big of a problem it is here, honestly, but it's a big enough problem. Anyway, I'm going on my tangent because I do my tangents because that's how I live my life. But anyway, so 2 chickies, neither one of them has got ID. Neither one of them has any ID with them. Neither one of them has a health card with them. Neither one of them has anything with them. The staff there are wasting tons and tons of time. Yeah. Fake IDs to get into bars. Oh yeah, it's like it's a thing, and it's easier to get now than it ever was before. But no. So these girls are, and then when they finally get a number, she's like, "Oh, all my information has changed." It's like you're showing up with no, and these girls are. So yeah, 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes delayed to deal with these two. While that's happening, another lady comes in, realizes there's a lineup, kind of hovers around for a minute, goes to the front of the line. She's got a sample that she's dropping off, right? So she's like, "Oh, I'm just dropping off. What do I do? I'm just dropping off." So she finally just kind of stomps to the front while she what is it? What is that word? Weaponized incompetence. She weaponized incompetence as her way to the front. "Oh, I have this. I'm just dropping off. I have this. I'm just dropping off." And they say, "Is that all you're doing? Is just dropping off?" And then she pulls out a stack of papers. Well, so she plays dumb, and so now she's at the front of the line. And she's got nothing prepared either. Yep. I would not be surprised. I'll tell you right now. As long as you have a fake ID, the bartender only has to pretend they're stupid. Yeah, sneaky sneak. So now we've got 3 people, all of whom first person, the first 2, you're gonna have to come back with a card. It's a walk-in. You can make it. They only offer a limited number of appointments. I made my appointment like 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I only had like a 5-minute delay. I was fine. I ended up over there early. Well, no, I guess I had about a 15 somewhat minute delay. But some days I walk slower than others. It's not very far from here, but it's like I always try to get there early. Because that way, on the off chance that they are, every now and again they're ahead of schedule, and I can get in and out early. And it's like, well, I'm just sitting here staring at the wall, waiting to go, so I might as well go. And that's the only reason why I was there to see most of this. So we've got 2 chicks two women who should have been told go home and come back. Go home, come back when you have come back when you have a card in your hand. Come back when you have a card in your hand, because they're also allowed to ask for another form of ID if they think there's a problem with your card, right? They never do, but they're allowed. Anyway, so these 2, maybe or maybe not using their own health card for whatever reason, back and forth, 20-minute delay, weaponized incompetence. It's like, "Oh no, you're also getting blood work, so you should be in the back of the line." Kick that one to the back of the line. Tell the other 2 to get out. They could have settled it. This is my bitch and my whine and complaint. Speculating about why people were doing what they were doing is completely none of my. It really is completely none of my business. The only reason why I'm speculating is because it's made the news here. How rampant it's a rampant problem here, where people use friends and relatives' medical ID to get medical services that they don't qualify for because they just are they're only visiting friends. It's made the news more than once. So anyway, that's why they have the rule that says you have to have a card. And these guys bending over backward to help them break the rules, blah, 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 blah. 35 minutes wasted over these 3 people, 2 of which should have been sent home. Bring back a card. Bring back an actual card. And the other one should have been told, "Why are you at the front of the line? Their lineup's over there." Wouldn't do it. None of them. It's like, ugh. I wouldn't last 5 minutes at a job like that. Not 5 minutes. Nope. Anyway, I got to get off my high horse. A restaurant we frequent when on vacation decorates their bar walls with all the fake IDs they've confiscated. Yeah, I really wish that these kids, when they were sneaking into bars, would be a little bit more responsible to go, "Okay, I'm already sneaking into the bar. I should probably try and stay at least somewhat sober." Because if they could do that, I don't think anybody would really give a shit. Most when I was going to high school, our drinking age was 18, right? So by the time we were thinking about ways to sneak into bars, we were already almost legal anyway. So most of it, well, we were almost legal, but we were also poor folks. So it's like, well, I'm only gonna, I'm gonna have a couple of drinks before they didn't want to get in trouble. It was also a small town. It was also a small town, and if you cause a problem and they kick you out, you're not getting back in. And it's like, you're also not going along to the next bar because, we only had one bar that we had Eddie's. We had Eddie's bar, and that's where all the young people hung out. Everything else was country western in my hometown. So it's like, unless you enjoy country western music, you don't want to be going. You know what? Even when I was drinking, me and my cousin would buy a Mickey of booze, go to a house party, drink. We'd share it, and then we'd bring the leftovers to the next house party. We did not. And how much does a Mickey hold? Maybe 5 or 6 drinks? No, maybe 8. It's got to be about 8. That's 2 each per party. We very rarely drank that. Very rarely drank to excess. It was just never worth it. And it was fucking expensive. Okay, so this is now. This is now going on here. So the quilt just got a little bit bigger. Anyway, like I said, it's an entire process up here, and we do have a medical. It's an entire process up here. We do have a lot of medical fraud. So I'm just kind of watching this play out, and it's like these girls, but the biggest thing I'm watching play out is like people in the lineup are getting upset. Like, I mean, the people. I walked in, and I had like a 35 to 40 minute wait because they were running late, and I got there early, so I had about a 35 to 40 minute wait once I got there, which was absolutely fine. But I initially got in line. Then I noticed the sign that says, if you have an appointment, just sit down. We'll call you up. So I went and sat down, right? The person that had been standing in front of me finally got to the front of the line when I was being called in. Like, that's just. But I can tell you exactly why this happens. Because I can tell you that if they just said no, those girls would be screaming. And they just didn't want. I don't want to be screamed at, so I'll give them whatever they want. And it's like, no, you want to be screamed at so that they want to be screamed at so you can tell them to get the fuck out, and then they'll learn not to do this anymore. Anyway, I don't know. I'm impatient at the best of times. I was just about to ask if this was a part-time job you were willing to do. Tell these ladies no. Well, this is the thing. I was actually debating on whether or not, basically, okay, with my leg, the thing with my leg is I can't do too much standing, or my leg fucking can't cope. But if I do a strictly stand-up job, my leg can't take it. If I do a strictly sit-down job, my hip can't take it. So I'm limited to begin with. Like I was thinking about maybe going into some of the. I was thinking about going into like a regular grocery store, like the smaller ones, and just saying like, hey, I'm looking for a job, and if you can give me a chair. Where'd it go? There it goes. If you can give me a chair to sit on, that I can, bring me in during times of the day when it's relatively busy. Something's going on here. I got a bunch of extra fab. Oh, I remember what was going on there. Come on. But cashiering or stuff like that. I was a cashier at a grocery store for a couple of years. I was even a cashier at a Walmart, which was actually it was actually in a nice little area, so it wasn't like the kind of shit show that Walmarts can be. I did great. I loved it, but my God, I would have no patience for the kind of bullshit. Back then, I didn't care. It's like, no, if you're fucking around, I'm going to tell you that you are. I'm going to say, I am not serving. I had people come up being assholes like, yeah, I'm not serving you. I was like, why? Well, because you're being rude. It's like, but you don't get away with that now. It's just such an ongoing thing. It's such an ongoing thing that it's such a thing that somebody is being absolutely hell on wheels, and you say, yeah, no, I'm not putting up with that from you. And somebody else that outranks you will show up and go, yeah, we need to help the customer. And it's like, you guys are fucking idiots. Customer service training does not exist anymore. That's the problem. I could be an amazing customer service trainer, but the minute you tell somebody the minute you tell employees that they have a right to say no, all the employer sees is money walking out the door. Yeah, I think I actually enjoyed it. I just can't stand up. I just can't spend that much time on my feet. Even 3 hours. Okay, this is where it gets fucked up for me. If I'm having a good day, I can be on my feet for 10 hours and it won't bother me. But if I'm having a bad day, then 3 hours is too much. And if I do it anyway, I am having a problem when I get home. And then if I get up and do it again the next day, I'm having a problem for the rest of the week. So if I'm on my feet for 3 hours today and go, wow, that was dumb, I can sit around for the rest of the week if I need to. I can't do that if I have a day job. You can't do that on a day job. If it's a good day, fine. But if it's not a good day, the regrets just start piling up. What is going on? Oh, okay. This is the fabric. See, I don't know if you guys are gonna. I don't know. Yeah. See, this is why I could never do this on camera for you guys. Just look at all that. This is where my computer used to sit. There's no way I could bury a computer under that. I think it would be okay. I'll tell you right now, if I had the money for it, I would be running a fabric store. But if I had the money for it, I'd be running a fabric store because I could be up and about helping when I'm up for it. I could be in the back doing paperwork when I'm not. Hire some staff. I would have to be the owner, right? I could be on my feet when it works for me. I could be sitting down when it doesn't. But you can't do something like that. You got to have money. That's one of those, it takes money to make money careers. But I would absolutely do it in a heartbeat if I had staff to do the physical work. And if I had staff to do the physical work in such a way that getting up and helping was optional. But I would have a zero tolerance policy. And I've seen that happen in the fabric store. My God. I saw one woman, because, I spend a lot of time in the fabric stores. I saw one woman trying to fucking barter. It's like, well, this shade of green is over there and it's on sale. So why can't I have this for the same price? It's like, get the fuck out, lady. I would really need to be mega rich. Just make sure it's somewhere with a good employee discount. If I could find grocery stores are awesome because they give you a fairly decent employee discount. And of course, you're always the first one to hear about sales and shit too. You'll quite often know about a sale the day before. So it's like, oh, well, I'm going to make sure I pick up that. Depending on where you work, like when I was at Walmart, we only did it. They didn't want us to do it a lot, but when I was at Walmart, if they had a sale on something, and it's like, well, I'm definitely picking up 3 at the end of my day. Could I set them aside? And as long as there was space for it in the back, and not too many people were asking, they'd say, yeah, sure, go ahead, set it in the back. Set it in the back, but if you don't pay for it if you forget to pay for it on the way out, it's going to be back on the shelf by the time you hit the parking lot. And it's like, okay. Anyway, no, customers have gone downhill. Customers have gone completely downhill, and that's the problem. If I could find a job where I only show up when it's busy, and like at a grocery store, they have express lanes and stuff like that, right? It's like, I'd like to be a cashier, please. Can you put me in your express lane with a chair, and then I will work 3 hours a shift. I would only want to work part-time. I Okay, I would only want to work part-time, and I would mostly, a little bit of pocket change and a reason to get out of the house and not be so isolated and be around people, right? And I am not known. I don't want to say that I'm intolerant. I actually think I'm a very tolerant person. I think I'm an incredibly tolerant person. Somebody comes to the front line and says, "Oh, I don't have a health card with me." It's like, "Oh, well, here's what you do. Here's what you need, but I'm not going to let you take it. You do need your physical copy. Blah 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 blah. I'll tell you what. I'll mark you down, and if you can make it back within the hour, I'll throw you back into the same position in the line that you were when you left." I would do that, no problem. Not 20, 30 minutes back and forth to try and fix a problem that is causing more problems for everybody else. Anyway, and like I said, me harping on why this matters was just like these girls were doing something that they legally aren't supposed to be doing because they were trying that hard to be nice. And that if there's a problem, with that chick is not going to step up and go, "Oh no, I manipulated them into it." They're not that if there's anything sketchy going on, those two girls are not going to come back and take one for the team and admit to anything. So anyway, but no, if I could do a part-time job, but my tolerance for bullshit is so fucking low. So low. It's like, and it's kind of funny because the saying "a customer is always right" in matters of taste, and we've taken it to. I cannot believe the shit that people do. That people pull. Maybe it's just around here. Maybe it's just the culture around here is really shitty these days. But such entitlement, it's crazy. And like I said, entitlement, and I don't know, entitlement, manipulation. It's fucked up, and I would not be tolerant of that. I'm not tolerant. I'm not tolerant of people. We had one guy when I was working at a superstore. The guy was on a scooter. Okay, so the guy had a disability. He was on a scooter, but amazingly, he would have no problem picking up a 50-pound bag of dog food and whipping it up onto the belt, and then expecting the cashier, it's like, "Well, you need to put it back in my scooter for me." And it's like, he pulled that on me because he would literally, this was a big burly guy too, right? And I don't mean like in overweight, like he was like he was a chunky dude, right? So whatever issues he had going on, upper body wasn't a problem. So he rolls up, he would find the smallest women and get into their lanes and then pull this crap on him. And he was in, every time he had something heavy, he'd be putting cases of pop up on the top. And the girls are like, "Oh, no, leave that in your cart." Because he had one of those, well, he had his own scooter, so he'd have all piled up. They go, no, leave it there. I'll come, because you got the guns. I'll come around. No, I want it scanned properly. And he put it up on the belt. Right. And, but he would do this to the little Vietnamese ladies that would work out. Oh no, he was being an absolute ass. Well, the one time he gets into my lane, and I don't know what the fuck he thought he was getting away with. I see him and I go, "Oh, you need to leave that in your cart." And he's like, just ignores me and throws it up on the belt, right? So I rang it through. I ran it to the end, and I moved on to the next customer and left him fucking sitting there in his cart. He's going, "Well," and I'm going, "Well, what?" He goes, "Well, you have to put it back in my scooter for me." I'm like, "You had no problem taking it out of your scooter. Why do I have to put it back?" "Well, because I'm disabled." And it's like, "Oh, so you're not going to put," and I just kind of like looked at him. I'm like, "So you're not putting it, so you took it out, but with no help, but you're not willing to put it back?" And he's like, "You need to come and do this." He's like, "You need to come and do this." I said, "I'm not doing that." I just looked at him. I was like, "I don't give a shit about you." Oh, fuck. So he's like, "You can't just leave me sitting here, blah, 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 blah." I'm not even sure that he was disabled. I am not even sure that he was disabled. I got a second story. Apparently today's story day. We had a girl that would come in, in an electric wheelchair. And I suspect that she was just too lazy to walk, because she would come in and stack up all these fucking pops and whatnot. She wasn't a dick about it, but she would come in and stack up all this shit in the chair, in and around the chair, and then hop out, la la la, moving around perfectly, whip whip whip, get it all up in the belt, run it all through, reload the. I think she was borrowing a relative's electric wheelchair so she could get the heavy stuff back and forth without having to carry it, right? And I do think that's what this guy was doing. He did not seem, considering considering his behavior and how easily he moved when he was putting it on the cart. It's like, you're just being a dick. So I just kind of looked at him and I'm like, he's like, you need to put it back in the cart. And it's like, yeah, I'll get somebody. And he's like, no, I need you to do it so I can get going. And it's like, no. I just kind of like, yeah, just wait. Just, you'll have to wait for somebody. So I just called somebody. And I forget what the deal was, but I said, I have, that's what I kind of coded. You get to know everybody, right? So I think I said, the girl with, if you're referring to the girl with the wheelchair, she was always carrying heavy stuff. So I think she was just like, hey, grandma, I'm going to use your wheelchair to go to the store so I don't have to carry all this shit back. Anyway, so this guy, and I forget exactly how I worded it, because God knows that was like, 15 years now. I forget how I worded it, but I knew there's always a guy doing stuff that you can call if you need help, right? And I kind of coded it. I said, yeah, there's a customer that got his big bag of shit to the front, got it up on the belt, but now he can't get it off the belt onto his cart. He's been insisting that I do it, but I really need somebody else to take care of that. And the guy, I forget. Like I said, I for the life of me, I will never remember exactly what I said. He said, oh, so, because I think he knew who the guy was. And it was like, yeah, is it that guy? And it's like, oh yeah. And it's like, so don't hurry. I went, oh, that's fine. Absolutely. You don't have to, like, whatever language it was. It's like, so you mean you don't want me to hurry? That's right. Click. Left him there for like 20 minutes. Every now and again he'd go, are you not going to do this? It's like, no. Where's your guy? Why isn't anybody coming? It's like, well, he'll get here. He's busy with other things. He'll get here. He'll get here when he has a chance. Left him waiting. It's funny because you do that as long as you do it just right. Those assholes, because they literally go around looking for people to harass. It's fucking crazy how fucking vicious some of these people are. Come on, you get out. I thought I was drifting outwards. I drifted out. I got too busy talking and drifted out a little bit. So now, yeah, I drifted too close to the edge, which means that this section here does not have enough fold over and will probably unravel first chance it gets. So I'm just going to pop it out. It's not bad. Okay, it's not bad. Yeah, just a miserable last trying to share misery. It's not bad, but because it's folded here in this spot, I need to back up enough so I'm catching enough to make sure that it doesn't just realign. I've got to be able to drift. It drifted out a bit this way, so now I got to drift it back in, but I got to start from like back here or something. I know there's better ways to do this, but I am always so concerned and careful about cutting the fabric underneath that part of my problem is that the best light that I have, there we go. It just has to turn under enough. I'll go a little tiny bit back. It just has to turn under enough because it's got to have a fold in it, at least a bit of a fold. This is kind of a trust fall because I can't really see. I'm keeping it here to get it right under that bright little light. There's my own fault for yipping and yapping too much, but yeah, he would show up on the regular and be an absolute. Oh no, he never got. We had a few guys. He wouldn't get in their lanes. I don't know. I don't. Okay. There's certain things I don't know how to say. I'm not trying to sound racist, but Vietnamese women generally are lighter build and shorter. Like most of the Vietnamese women that I worked with were actually shorter than me. Does that make sense? I'm always so concerned. You know what it is? I'm always so worried that I'm going to say it the wrong way, that I end up saying it the wrong way in a different way. But most of the Vietnamese women that I worked, we had a lot of Vietnamese women working at that store that I worked at, and most of them were smaller than me, lighter build, shorter than me, and that's where he would almost always end up. Almost always, he would end up there, or to the really young girls that would be easily intimidated. He just got off on being a fucking asshole, and he knew that he would get away with it if they were. I don't think it was a racist. I don't know that it was a racist thing. I'm not going to say that it was, because my fucking God, I look gay as hell, and he didn't seem like he was being homophobic. I think he was just literally an asshole, picking on anybody who seemed smaller and less willing to put up, and anybody who seems smaller and more willing to tolerate his bullshit. That's where he always ended up. And I'll tell you right now, when assholes like that show up, they know how to pick them. My fucking God. They know how to pick them. But yeah, if I saw him getting into a line, I was a real asshole for a bit there. A couple of times there was a couple of troublemakers, and a couple of times I saw them getting into the line. And I said, and I would walk up to whichever teller it was and say, I think you need a bathroom break. And I would take and get that person out of the way. Because some of the girls were, some of these, and he wasn't the only one. He was just the most obvious. But it is surprising the number of real fucking assholes that show up at places like that, knowing, and that was like 15 years ago. It's so much worse now. It is so much worse now. I don't know. I mean, I would need to be working for a place. I would either need to, I need to either be the boss, like, so I can walk up to somebody and go, yeah, we don't tolerate that shit here. Or working for a boss that's like, that's the funny thing. Like, I've got 2 sons. Men are awesome. But you know what it is? When men decide to be gross, men are generally bigger, physically stronger, and when they choose to be intimidating, especially if they're choosing to intimidate women that are smaller than average, that's when it gets really gross. It gets gross because these women walk away with a sense of danger. But I will say, like, we had one lady, we used to call her Cancer Lady. No idea if she had cancer or not. Don't know. She would walk in with a scarf on her head, because she was just she would walk in with a scarf on her head, and come to is this clean? You need to clean this. Is because you can stop and clean the belt string. This doesn't look very clean. You need to clean this. Can you sweep that floor? This is really gross. I don't want to be in this line. This is really gross. And they would flip the fuck out every single time to get and make whoever was working that day clean everything before. And she would just stand there holding up the line. My boy, you know what? I'm guessing that my boys can be assholes, because all guys, anybody can be an asshole, but you know, they respect women. There, so the last side's on. I spent too much time talking. It's 4:15. But no, like, I mean, some of the worst I had one lady that was really funny. Women are actually worse than men. Women as customers, women are way worse than men, but women don't make people feel unsafe, right? So my worst customer, that particular guy was a guy. I mean, the 2 chickies being fucking annoying yesterday, they were girls, right? Cancer Lady, like I said, you just start saying shitty things. But anyway, we have no idea if she had a health condition or not. At the very least, she was a germaphobe and would freak the fuck out. Couldn't get the female attention the way he wanted, so that's how he could. Who knows? I have no idea what, you know, this guy clearly had some fucking problems. We also had a guy that would come in. And he was clearly schizophrenic, talking about lizard people and aliens and stuff like that. And he was very, very strange. He would come in, he would get a snack and a drink. And and maybe whatever he was getting for later, he would leave. And as long as you didn't make eye contact, he was fine. But if you made eye contact, he could get really freaked out. He almost got into a fight with somebody one day at the back because he was saying something and the guy looked him in the eye and he's going, they know they're not supposed to, they know that I can't look him in the eye. They know that I won't look at their eyes. I won't look at their eyes. He's freaking out, getting ready to square off this guy. Thank God I walked up, and this guy is jacked. This guy was like 6'2", solid muscle, obviously worked. Either he did something really physical for whatever he did to keep himself busy, or he was at the gym a lot. Totally jacked. I had to get between these two guys and go, okay, to the other guy. And I said, hey, he didn't know. He's fine. And he's like, but lizard people. He's like, yeah, but, and he was talking about like, it's like, how do you, and I forget what I said to him. I said, yeah, but that's but that's how they find you. And you got to keep it cool, because if that guy, I know that guy, he's cool. He just didn't know. He didn't know. Like this, right? Because he was going, oh, eye contact. No, he didn't know. He's cool. This guy's cool. He just didn't know, right? And he's going, yeah, but that's how they get you. Yeah, but that's not him. But you got to relax, or they're gonna figure out that like this, right? I had to play along with his delusion, and then he calmed right down. And he's going, yeah, I got to calm down. I can't let them know. I can't let them know that I know. That was his big thing. I can't let them know that I know. He was all about the lizard people, but didn't want them to know that he could see them or something like that. I don't fucking know. And I said, yeah, but if they, and I'm just like, I'm not making eye contact because I know the guy, right? I was like, he settled right down. He laughed. He settled down. He wandered off to do his thing. And I went back to the other guy and I said, sorry, he's actually harmless, but he freaks out over it. Whenever there's eye contact, he can't fucking cope. And it's like, but he's okay. He's okay now, and he won't bother you because I convinced him that you're cool. It's like, oh my God. But yeah, I actually really enjoyed that job. I hated the supervisors. Yeah, just stay home and tell all these fucking customer service stories. My God. Worst customers I ever had were women. It's kind of funny. Like this guy, once he saw my fuck you attitude, he didn't come back. He didn't bother me again. Whatever the fuck he was hoping to, whatever he was hoping to get out of the exchange, he didn't get. So he never bothered me again. But I had one woman comes in, and we had a bunch of women. Women would do this a lot. Woman comes in and parks her mother at the head of my line. Now, if you're not checking out customers, somebody's going to come and tap you on the shoulder. Peggy, why aren't you working? It's like, well, because fuckwit here parked her mother to hold her spot at the front of the line while she goes and does her shopping, right? So mother's blocking mother's in line and blocking the line because the mother doesn't speak any English or is pretending not to. That's a thing that I've had to deal with on more than one occasion around here. So mother's standing in the way, and I'm like going, you have to move. You have to, other people are trying to get through, and the mother's just kind of like, what, making sure she blocks the whole lane because that's where her daughter parked her, because daughter is off getting fucking groceries. So I'm like, you need to move. Mother's not moving. So I finally just walk up beside her, kind of put my hand on her. I kind of like, I don't touch her. I just like, you need to go stay. And I made her move. And then the line comes on, right? The daughter comes back, and the daughter's probably a little younger than me, comes back. What do you think you're doing being mean to an old lady? She just needed to stand here. She just wanted to stand here. This is where she was standing. I said, no, you can't block the line. And she's losing her fucking mind. Is this how you treat an old lady? It's like, no, she was blocking the line. I helped her to find a spot where she could stand. That's not where she wanted to stand. And it's like, no, that's not where you wanted her to stand. I finally just said, like, look, you're not allowed to park somebody to save a space for yourself in a fucking express lane. It was the express lane. And she showed up with like a full cart of groceries, by the way. Women are so gross. Closing down at the end of the night. I had one lady, I closed down at the end of the night. All done. I actually had two. One was a guy, one was a woman. Closing down near the end of the night. Somebody pulls up to my lane. The sign is right there. Moves the sign out of the way, or did she walk past it? I forget. She acted like the sign didn't exist. Starts unloading her groceries. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm closed. And I've got a soccer mom voice. You can't not hear me. Okay. You cannot not hear me. If you're not hearing me, it's because you don't want to hear me, right? Continues to unload this massively full cart of groceries. Just unload, 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 unload. Continues to unload her groceries, acting like I don't exist. And I'm soccer momming at her. Excuse me, I'm closed. And like I said, so I'm like, after like the fourth time, I'm like waving at her, like, hello. And she's just like putting her stuff up. And she can see me because she's angled where she can't not see me, right? So I just ignored her, finished what I was doing, and walked away. Just left her there. And it was the end of the night, so there's no cash left in my till. Everything's turned off, blah, 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 blah. Boop, off we go. And she's like, where are you going? I said, I told you I was closed. Because she thought I was going to take, well, can't you just, it's like, no, I told you I was closed. I just walked away. It was awesome. Then I had another night. This time it was a guy, but I had another night where some guy walks in. The store closed at like 11 o'clock at night. Guy walks in at like 5 to 11 and starts doing his shopping, right? Oh, yeah. Oh my God, that particular store, it was kind of hard to describe. Most customers were just nice, normal customers. Some customers were fucking amazing. And these guys, I had enough support from management that these guys were just fun. I had the one night, 11 o'clock, guy walks in like 5 to 11 with a cart. And it's like, shit. But we don't turn the tills off to like 11:15, get people a chance to check out, right? 11:15, this guy's still shopping in the back, and he's got a cart, and it's like all the shit's happening, right? And I'm like, and I'm like the last cashier, and I'm like, well, what are we doing about this guy? And the manager didn't want to go deal with this guy. Did not want to go deal with this guy. I think she just didn't want to get yelled at. She didn't really say why, but she's going, it's like, well, he needs to hurry up. He needs to hurry up. And it's like, I'm like, I can go tell him to hurry up. So I did. And I went back and I said, excuse me, sir, we're closed. You need to bring your stuff to the front and pay for it. And he's like, okay, just a minute. And I'm like, okay, well, we don't have a minute. We're turning off the tills in a minute. So I turn around, I go back up. He's still shopping. He's like, fuck you. You guys have to wait for me. That's what he's thinking, right? So then I go back a second time. I go, sir, we're closed. I'm going up front right now to turn my till off. If you do not come with me now, you will not be able to check out with your stuff. You will have to leave. Well, no, I'll just be a minute. Or he's like, okay, I'm coming, or whatever the fuck he said. So I turn around, I left, and I goes, well, because we can tell, right? It's like, he's still shopping. He thinks I'm kidding. And she's like, okay, well then, and I'm like, so, and she just still doesn't want to deal with this guy. I'm like, just turn my till off. Turn my till off. I already told him. I already talked to him. I said, I'll deal with it. I should have applied to be a manager, because I'll tell you right now, some nights I was doing more managing of the people than the managers were. But anyway, so she turns the till off and she fucks off into the office right away because she does not want to deal with that. It's like, do we have security here? And it's like, yeah, well, then talk to security, let them know what's going on. And if there's a fucking problem, they can come down and deal with this guy. Yeah, I made it clear twice. So then we close the till up, we take it down, we go back, and so then I go back the third time, and goes, sir, I'm afraid you'll have to leave. And he's like, what are you talking about? I said, the till's turned off. We've got no way to take your order now. You didn't come to the front. Yeah, well, we have, as long as this, and I'll tell you right now, in those places, security, there's not always security guards there. That's a fucking joke. Sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't. Sometimes they give a shit, sometimes they don't. But yes, I go back and I'm like, sir, you're going to have to, sir, would you like me to move your buggy into the cooler so you can come back and pay for it tomorrow? I forget just how I started this, because my God, I was a bitch about it. No, I was like, I was that kind of a bitch. But I said, sir, we're closed. You're gonna have to come back and finish your shopping tomorrow. I'm happy to move this into a cooler for you and put a note so that you can just pick up where you left off. He's going, what are you talking about? So I told you the till was being turned off. It was turned off 5 minutes ago. Well, you can't do that. It was like, well, I'm not working for free. I just turned around and walked away. It's like, well, I told him to get the fuck out. I told him to get the fuck out, and I told him that we no longer have any way to process his order, so he can just go. And we saw him slinking out like 2 minutes later. It was hilarious. But yeah, by far the worst customers for going from 0 to 50 in less than 5 seconds were almost always the women. men got entitled like that. It's like, you know, but a woman would think nothing. A woman would think nothing of coming in, bringing all 6 of her screaming kids, causing all sorts of problems, and it's acting like nothing's going on, and then getting mad at you for like, hey, can you ask your kids to stop screaming? I can't hear you. Like, no, women were by far the worst, because women would do it consistently with, okay, this guy, I don't think if he came back, he never came back at that time of night again. He came in, he was respectful, he got his shit, he got out. I don't know, but we never had that happen again, you know, not with that guy, at least. The guy with the inability to pick up his own stuff. At the very least, he never did it. At the very least, I saw him again, but at the very least, he never pulled that on me again, and he never pulled that on any of my coworkers when I was on shift. Because the one time I saw him rolling up to one of our little Asian ladies, I just said, yeah, do you want to take a break? And, you know, because everybody knew, because it was the Asian ladies that basically told me about him. We're like, yeah, he likes to pick on us because we're smaller. We're smaller, and he doesn't think, you know, and these are women who really need the job, right? So it's like, they know we're smaller, and they know we won't fight back. And I said, okay, well, go. Why don't you go? You look like you need to go to the bathroom. Take a few minutes, and then, because he knew that I wouldn't tolerate his crap, so he either picked different shifts or whatever. I don't know. I don't know how effective it was, but I know there were some people. And some of the other staff members, of course, training the other staff members is like, well, no, like, if this asshole shows up in your lane, then all you have to do is smile and go, absolutely, I will call somebody. And then he is no longer, well, but he wants me to do it. It's like, he doesn't get that fucking choice. I want you to do it. It's like, no, I'll call somebody. Well, I want you to do it. No. And then you call you. Then if somebody is demanding that you take on something that is dangerous for you, you call a manager and say, yeah, this guy is demanding that I do it and doesn't want me to call for anybody else. Call security. I don't know. Anyway, I loved that job. I probably would have been a good manager, but the actual manager, like the manager of the department, she was a raging bitch. Nobody could stand her. Like, turns out nobody could stand her, to the point where it turns out that the union was trying to find a way to get her fired. So they don't usually admit to that. Oh, Peggy, you are my hero. You are the best boundaries and have taught me so much about my right to have them over the years. Well, thank you. It's kind of funny, like, the thing that happens with boundaries. Like, I mean, I can tell this story. Oh, that asshole rolled up in his thing and demanded that I do this. And it's like, no, I did not turn around and tell him. A lot of people, oh yeah, I really knew I needed to tell him to fuck himself. And I really knew I needed to tell him to fuck himself. So I did it in the best way. Okay, I don't know if it was the best way possible, but I did it in the way that I wasn't going to get in trouble or lose my job over it. And people are like, but you need to be direct. You need to stand up for yourself. You need to do this and you need to do that. And it's like, dude, I also need a paycheck. And I also knew what the rules were. So find out what the rules are, stay within them, put your boundaries up. Somebody's going, you need to do this. It's like, well, no, my job description doesn't require me to huck 50-pound bags of cat food or dog food or whatever the fuck it is around for your pleasure. So no, I'm allowed to call somebody, and I'm going to do it. And if you're going to stand, I'm going to make somebody come in the line one time. I forget what the issue was. I'm going to make a complaint, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, okay, well, my name is Peggy, and the manager's right over there. I just looked at them. I forget what it was. I forget what it was about. And they just kind of gave me a look and left. Because one nice thing about being in a union, yeah, that was really helpful. But no, it's really important. I've always felt like it was really important to have a clear difference when you're telling a story, having a clear difference between, this is my opinion on what was going on, this is what I actually did. Like, I'm sitting over at the lab yesterday having my opinions on what was going on, but it's like, it's not my job, it's not my problem. If I step up and help, I'm just going to make it worse for everybody. I had my opinions, but I'm going to stay the fuck out of it. The girls didn't seem to be I felt like they were doing the wrong thing. It's not my job to get in the middle of that. I felt that they were doing the wrong thing because they were making it really easy for problematic. I don't know if these girls would have been problematic or not, but they've obviously dealt with problematic people that go from 0 to 100 to the point where they're like, let's just be nice and give them what they want so it won't happen again. And then they can't figure out why it happens all the fucking time. But I'm going to have my opinion. I'm very clear on these are my opinions. This is the action that it sounds like a great story after the fact, but in the moment, like dealing with that guy, it's like, why do you want me to put it on your cart for you? You got it off your thing, no problem. Well, I can't put it back on. Oh, why? Well, I'm disabled. Oh, okay. Well, I'll call somebody. Like it was a very slow roll. It was a very slow rolling incident at the end of the day, but I could tell he was fuming the whole fucking time. So that was like, yeah, fuck you, buddy. What I'm thinking and what I'm saying, right? But I strongly suspect that if I were to go get a day job now, I got to stop in a minute. Lisa's going to be home soon, and I'm pretty sure she's gaming tonight. So I don't get to. I'm gonna get the other side done, which is going to be the exact same thing, only it goes on that side. I'm going to get the other side done tonight, and then but I'm going to get the 2 corners finished first. I'm going to get the corners. I'm going to get my 4 corners done first because I have to make sure I do them in the right direction. Because if I do them all like this way, then I have 2 corners that are really fucked up, and I don't have enough to pick them out and start over. So I'm going to do the corners first to get them out of the way so that I have guarantees that they're not fucked up. Then I'm going to come back. Yeah, well, apparently, because it wasn't last week's, wasn't my last live too. It's like chat and then rant about some bullshit. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to. Oh, yeah, you guys can see him if I go like that. He is, come on, right? He's right there being pathetic. Hi, pathetic puppy. Are you my pathetic boy? He's not even, this is, hi, hey, you saw that. That's good news. He is laying there because he is waiting for something. What did I do? Apparently I typed something. I must have hit some. Oh, I think There you go. There's some Bruno for you. Let me get these off. Come here. No, this one and the last one was yeah. Oh yeah, he's convinced I don't love him. Where are you going? You going over there? Yep. There. How's that? Laid right down. Did you see that? Just boop straight down. Are you my good boy? You're on my glove. Oh, it's okay. You can stay there. You're a good boy. I just got to get my gloves out of the way. Hi. Yeah. So I'm going to have to be mean to him for the next couple of videos so that he gets the idea that he doesn't automatically get up here. Because I don't know if you guys noticed. Take me outside, give me a treat, get me up. That's what we did the last time, and it didn't work. Yep, plop down to stare at me. It's like, you dumb asshole. Why are you not coddling me and petting me and telling me I'm pretty? How you doing? Are you liking this one? He, as soon as anything that smells like me, he needs to lay on, sit on, roll on, do whatever. I think he likes me or some weird thing. Anyway, yeah, so thank you for hanging out with me while I sew, hanging out with me while I chat, and then tolerating my crap when I start ranting my fool head off. And it's really sad because I actually like customer service work, but the quality of the customers has gone down. Hi, you good boy. But yeah, it's actually really sad because men when they choose to misbehave, I don't think they're actually worse than women. I think what makes them worse is because men can. A mouthing off man can feel very threatening, whereas if a woman is mouthing off to me, unless she's a physically larger, like big, tall, whatever, I'm less likely to be intimidated I'm less likely to feel physically at risk from a woman than I am from a man. But women actually are the worst behaved. Oh, and they're the filthiest in the bathrooms, by the way. Anyway, it was ranting about jobs. Now, yep, I think this has cooled my interest in wanting to go get a part-time job though. It's like, right. I have way too many shitty stories about shitty people. Oh, you have a big yawn? Have you been awake the whole time? How are you feeling about life? Yeah? You fine? Yeah, this is the eye he's blind in on this side. So he doesn't really see anything until you start getting into the field of vision for the other eye. We think he might still see some shadows on that side, but not enough to matter. Hi. You my good boy. Yeah, I'm petting you and you're shutting all over it. Are you happy now? Okay. I'm going to go coddle my dog for a while and see where Lisa's at. And I will talk to you guys later. Apparently coming on here and walking down memory lane with you guys or bitching and whining about whatever the current topic of the week is okay. If I can actually get off my lazy ass and start sticking to a schedule, it'll probably be as entertaining as having a part-time job. I know Ernest's ears awesome, and he likes it when you pet them. He's totally fine to let you pet his ears because we do it way too much. You're okay. You're okay. Okay, I'm gonna go, guys. You guys have a great day, week, whatever. If I get back before the end of the week, I'll see you then. Otherwise, I'll see you next week and have a great end of week. What you doing? He's having a little spasm, little muscle spasms. Okay, see you guys later. Have a good one, and I will see you soon. Bye.